Hi, I'm Sarah, registered nurse and fitness and intuitive eating coach. A common question is about intuitive eating and food rules. What are food rules? Good question. So, rules around food are things such as I can only eat between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m., or I can't eat after 7 p.m. Another one is I can't have anything sweet until nighttime, or I have to have this for breakfast, or I can only have this amount to eat for lunch, or I have to stay within this calorie range, or I have to meet this amount of macros. Things like that are food rules. You can't have this, you can't have that. This is good, this is bad. And so food rules keep us stuck in that diet cycle. And so with intuitive eating, we're trying to break that diet cycle. And so we start by slowly eliminating rules around food. And this is a slow progression. I don't recommend doing this all at once, but slowly eliminating one rule at a time or challenging one rule at a time. And it's about baby steps and slowly doing this in order to make it work for you. And so maybe that means that you start eating a little bit earlier in the morning. If you're somebody who says, I can't eat until 11 a.m., well, what if you start challenging that by eating at 10 a.m.? And if you are somebody who has been doing intermittent fasting and you're like, okay, I can eat between 11 and 7. So you challenge that by starting to eat something at 10 and open that window up to between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. Another example would be that you can't have anything sweet until nighttime. So what if after lunch you had a little bit of something sweet, just a bite, to see how it feels? And slowly eliminating that rule around food and having something sweet. Another example is feeling like you have to have certain things or certain foods at every meal. What if, and even if you don't want that food, right? Like it's just a rule you have. I have to have this with every meal because that's just the way it is. And that's a rule that I made up. So what if you eliminate having that food at one of your meals? If it's not something you really want, start by decreasing the amount of times you have that food, because maybe you're just burnt out with the food and it just has lost its excitement and it just doesn't taste as good anymore. So challenging those food rules one at a time will help you get more comfortable with it. It will help you start eliminating rules around food. And then once you eliminate one rule and kind of get comfortable with that, then we add on and we start eliminating another rule around food. And so this is why I want you to do a slow progression of it, because if you do it all at once, it's just going to feel so overwhelming. You're going to feel like, I can't do this. I have to be on a diet. And it's not true. Intuitive eating is very doable, but it takes time to relearn, to trust yourself around food, to undo those thoughts and that story you've created around food, to start eating foods that really sound good and nourishing and that will satisfy your body and your mind, and where you're not thinking about food all the time. And that's a huge goal, to eliminate stress around food, to eliminate anxiety around food, and to eliminate your thoughts and your energy to always being around food. It's going to free up so much mental space for you and physical energy. And you're going to be so glad once you start going with intuitive eating and eliminating the diet cycle. I know it sounds overwhelming and scary at first, but once you get started, you're going to start trusting yourself around food again. And it's one of the most amazing feelings. So subscribe to my channel and follow me for more fitness, intuitive eating, and body image tips.